So after Muhammadu Buhari was overthrown in 1985, Babangida was then installed as the new military head of state. Babangida's administration had a lot of scandals that almost, if not totally, ruined his government. Firstly, the Dele letter bomb assassination. Secondly, the Gloria Okon drug scandal. Thirdly, the June 12 election scandal. And a lot more corrupt scandal happened. But let's pick it from the scratch. When Babangida took over power in 1985, he inherited a struggling economy largely particularly due to the global decline in oil price, mismanagement and corruption under the previous government. Apparently, a lot of amendments needed to be carried out by IBB. And of course, they tried his best when he came in, but it didn't take long before the people began to attack his administration for corruption, embezzlement, lavish lifestyle, and human rights abuse. Especially in the press, his administration was said to often deprive journalists and newspapers the right to publish anything against the government. If any journalist is caught criticizing IBB, such person would be executed without going through any trial. But you see, oftentimes, Babangida's administration was also linked with allegations of drug trafficking business. It was said that some senior government officials under IBB were being involved in hard drug business, though no evidence that Babangida himself was directly involved in this shady business. But several drug controversies that happened during his regime created a lot of rumors that Babangida's associates were drug peddlers. Among these controversies was the infamous Gloria Okon drug scandal in 1986 that was allegedly linked to Mariam Babangida, that's IBB's wife. You see, this scandal is one of the most mysterious and controversial events that cast a shadow on Babangida's regime, Maradona. Mind you, Maradona is another nickname given to Babangida. Babangida is Maradona. Maradona is Babangida. So it happened that a lady with the name Gloria Okon was arrested in April 22nd, 1986 for drug trafficking at the Aminu Kano International Airport in Kano. She was caught by custom officers while trying to smuggle substance believed to be heroin out of the country. Following her arrest, Gloria Okon was transferred to the police custody for further questioning and await trials. Mind you, the penalty for drug smuggling was to be execution according to the law. But you see, her case took a mysterious turn. Ask me how. Shortly after her arrest, just a few days later, the authorities announced that Gloria Okon had died in the custody from a sudden illness. Someone who was supposed to face the law just died all of a sudden. So the suddenness and the lack of clarity surrounding her death created speculations that her death might have been faked or arranged by high-level officials to cover up the case. Because according to details, Gloria Okon was connected to powerful individuals in government house. Another rumor circulated that Gloria Okon was somehow connected to the Nigerian First Lady as at the time, Mariam Babangida. Allegedly, this rumor suggested that Gloria Okon was a courier in drug peddling linked to powerful individuals, including those close to the president family. So tell me how anyone would further investigate on the case. No way. Absolutely no way. And that was how the Gloria Okon drug scandal went down. With no evidence that she truly died or not, nobody knows. But you see, in the midst of all this, there was one journalist who was so interested in getting to the root of the case. That person was Dele Giwa. Dele Giwa was an investigative journalist who took up so much interest in finding out who Gloria Okon was and who she actually worked for. Giwa, who has always been a critic of Babangida's administration, saw this as an opportunity to further press more charges on Babangida's administration, because he believed that this lady with the name Gloria Okon was definitely working for some government officials and they are in some ways linked to Babangida, allegedly, and as rumor had it. So Dele Giwa decided to get to the root of the matter. But you see, his effort to review the people behind the case might have contributed to the letter bomb that assassinated him. So here is how it happened. After Gloria Okon's case went down, Dele Giwa was determined to continue investigating the case to uncover the truth and expose corruption within the Nigerian government. As an investigative journalist that he was, he went to the length and breadth of the research. Lo and behold, it was said that Dele Giwa was able to discover Gloria Okon in London. Reports said that Dele Giwa received information that Gloria Okon was at a naming ceremony in London and was in the company of Miss Mariam Babangida, allegedly. The same lady that was officially reported to have died in custody in Nigeria was alive and was seen in London by Giwa. That was an absolutely shocker to everyone. And you see, this discovery alone might have contributed to what led to the quick assassination of Dele Giwa, because the fear that Giwa might expose those involved in the case could have motivated those in power to silence him before he could publish his findings. Apparently, they put the fast one on him. And moreover, Giwa is a journalist who has been widely condemned by top government officials and was often seen as a thorn in the flesh. a threat to them indeed, due to his investigative journalism. After Dele Giwa discovered that Gloria Okon was in London, it was believed that he was likely going to publish it in his newspaper the following day or a day after. So on October 19th, 1986, Dele Giwa was in his residence in Lagos. He was having breakfast with his friend and colleague Kayode Soyinka when Giwa received the phone call informing him of a parcel delivery which has just arrived outside his house. His gateman handed the parcel over to Giwa's son. So the boy brought the letter to Giwa inside. Upon receiving the package, Giwa gave it to his friend across the table to check for him. But the inscription on the letter says, "To be opened by addressee only," with the official stamp of the Nigerian government. So Giwa could have believed it was a letter from the head of state. So he took it back and read the inscription on it, and he said, "This must be from the president." So he stretched the top left corner of the letter and prepared to tear it apart. But as he began to open the package, it exploded violently. The explosion was so powerful that it caused immediate chaos and destruction within the room. Dele Giwa was severely injured, particularly the lower part of his body were in critical condition, as he was the one who held the letter and was trying to open it. The friend that was with him at the time miraculously survived the blast, but he was temporarily deafened by the blast of the sound. The bomb was little but mighty. It was so massive that the whole room exploded. The furniture and the table went shattered. So immediately, Dele Giwa was rushed to the nearest hospital, but the injuries he sustained were too severe and he died shortly after the attack. The assassination sent shocking waves throughout Nigeria and international community, as Dele Giwa was a prominent journalist known for his investigative work. The brutality of the killing and the fact that it was carried out using a parcel bomb made a lot of people believe that it was likely done by top officials who are connected to Maradona's government. You know who, of course. Damn! So after the Dele Giwa's assassination, Babangida's government was publicly criticized over the incident. So Babangida himself publicly condemned the assassination, calling it an attack on press freedom and democracy. He also expressed shock and concern over the violent nature of the killing. The government promised to investigate the murder. Unfortunately, no one was ever held accountable for Giwa's murder. The case remained officially unsolved. His assassination remained a significant event in the history of press freedom in Nigeria. So after the Gloria Okon scandal and the Dele Giwa scandal, the last and the most significant scandal of Babangida's regime was the annulment of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, a scandal that saw the best friend turned worst enemy, bitter betrayal between MKO Abiola and Babangida. So it happened that towards the end of Babangida's regime, he announced that power would be returned to civilian rule in 1993 after years of military rule, and with plan to transition to civilian rule. The 1993 election was a key step to that process. So Babangida allowed the formation of political parties, with each party asked to submit a candidate for the presidential post. Two major parties emerged: the Social Democratic Party (SDP) and the National Republican Convention (NRC). So MKO Abiola, a wealthy businessman, emerged as the presidential candidate for SDP. He was the one representing them. Though he has been long known and loved by a lot of people for his kindness and good personality. In fact, Abiola and Babangida were known to have been close personal relationship. They were best of friends. Abiola was known for his political connection. He also supported Babangida's regime both morally and financially, which actually helped strengthen their relationship in the 1980s. So when Babangida declared the transition to civilian rule, he definitely had Abiola in mind to be the next president. In fact, Abiola's decision to run for the presidential election in 1993 was likely supported by Babangida. They were 5 and 6. They were two that asked to tango. But you see, the same Babangida who inspired Abiola at the time would later go on to betray him in the same election. So sit back and listen. There's more to learn from the friendship-turned-enemy relationship between Babangida and MKO Abiola, and how Sani Abacha came in between them before his untimely death in 1998, and MKO Abiola would die a month after. You see, Babangida would go on to live up to this moment.